Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a brush review and demo video on a brand called Elysium. So there are 8 brushes in the range. There are 4 complexion or face brushes and there are 4 eye brushes. I'm going to use them all in this video. That won't be difficult for me. So as I'm using the brushes, I'll talk through them just so I'm not sort of repeating myself as I'm going through the video and doing the demonstration with them. I also have from Elysium 5 sets of eyelashes. Now, these are pretty cool because they are color accent lashes. So these ones have a little pink accent on them. Then we've got some with dark purple accents. Hopefully you can see the difference there. There is like a peachy orange pair, which just, oh, they're gorgeous. I love that color. There's also a blue pair and then there is a green pair. So accent color lashes, that's really cool. I'm going to chuck a pair of those on today as well. I will have to trim them. I feel like that is just a really sad thing to do because these look like beautiful lashes. I can't wait to touch them. But I've got tiny eyes. It has to be done. So we will put those on as well and see what they're like. A few things about all of these brushes before I get started, so I'm not saying it for every brush, and again, repeating myself. They are all synthetic, which means they are vegan and cruelty-free. The handles are made of a recyclable plastic and they are encased. So everything that you see printed on here, the name, the logo, and where it says made in Italy, that is never going to rub off. That is a pet peeve of mine with some of my most expensive brushes. My Hydra brushes, the numbers wear off over time. It's frustrating. They suggest that you paint over it with clear nail polish, but good God almighty, no, nobody wants to do that, okay? So I really appreciate it when the logo, the name, any important information about the brush is encased because it means they're going to stay looking fresh forever. Like I said, they are made in Italy, so the quality is absolutely beautiful. The hairs are designed, even though they're synthetic, they are designed to mimic a natural hair in the way that they pick up, apply, and blend out color. And also the fibers of the hair have been designed so that they don't splay after washing them, so they will maintain their natural shape. That is a massive problem with many brushes on the market. One of the biggest offenders, in my opinion, is Morphe. You just have to look at a Morphe brush for it to go. I'm going to get off to a really rough start because I have no idea how to pronounce the name of this brush. I am sorry. It's spelled P-A-C-I, but essentially what we have here is a domed concealer brush with a little nipple. I have seen these brushes before, but this is the first one that I have tried. That little tip is designed to be able to get into really small, tight areas to do detail blending. Now, this brush is it's designed to be used for concealing, but also for detail contouring, so around the nose, stuff like that. I am going to use it to prime. It's a lovely soft brush. It's applied the product evenly. A pet peeve of mine with concealer brushes of this type of design and foundation brushes where they're sort of densely packed and used for buffing is when they leave streaks in the finish of the product, so the concealer or the foundation. For me, it kind of defeats the purpose of even using a brush because then you have to go back in and tap it out, whether it be with a sponge, fingers, or another brush. So I really appreciate it when these types of buffing brushes actually apply the product smoothly, evenly, without streaking. Something else I want to mention about this brush before I forget is that Elysium is doing a promotion for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where for every brush that is purchased, the Paci Brush, I don't know, how do we pronounce it? Somebody will know, let me know down in the comments. But for every one of these brushes that is purchased, they retail for $30 US, they are donating $15 US to the Hong Kong Breast Cancer Foundation. And they're not just running it through October, they're running it until all of these brushes are sold out. So at the moment, this is a limited edition brush. That's what it mentions on their website. And until these are sold out, they will be donating $15 of every purchase of this brush to the Hong Kong Breast Cancer Foundation. This brush here is the Zuri Brush. So this is an eyeshadow packing brush. You can see it is wider on one angle, thinner on the next. Now they do have another eyeshadow packing brush, which is this guy here. You can see it's a little bit smaller, so if you've got small eyes like me, don't worry, they do have something smaller. I'm going to use the Zuri brush just to set my concealer between my crease and my brow. So this brush is dense enough to pack, you know, use a packing motion to apply color, but also fluffy enough to use it as a blender. So I would consider this a little bit of a one and done kind of brush. Like if you're in a rush and you're just trying to do like a quick, I don't know, matte brown eye for the office, or maybe a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of matte, you could do it all with the one brush. Next is the Nuri Brush, and this is a fluffy blender. As you can see, I'm going to use this to do some matte crease work, transition work. Same brush, I've just done a little color switch to get off any excess product, and I'm going to pop a shade in my outer corner. Something that I enjoy about this brush is that the bristles have a good sort of density to them, and they're not super flexible, which means it's not just a blending brush. You can apply, build up color, diffuse, blend. If you use a really light hand and don't push the brush too deep into the socket, you can use the tip just to define in the actual socket. You don't need a smaller brush for that job. Onto the smaller eyeshadow brush. So this is called the Alva. It is a small, dense eyeshadow packing brush. I'm going to use this for two things, cream and powder. For my Project Pan fam, this is the Australis Metallics in Gold Gaga. I really enjoy brushes like this with these sort of cream eyeshadow products because it disperses product really well. I find with some cream products, like it's best applied with your finger because you have more control with like blending things out, but I've got small eyes and like I don't have big fingers, but I want control and I don't want something blocking my vision of where I'm applying things. I want to be able to see very clearly what I'm doing. So a brush like this, it doesn't pick up too much product, but the density and the stiffness of the bristles allows you to pop product down and then manipulate it and move it to exactly where you want it. So there I have a beautiful even application. It's super sparkly. It's got that metallic sort of pop, but it's not going to crease. And these are notorious for creasing, especially if you apply them too heavily. So little brushes like this, so good for sparkly cream things. Now it's not just good for sparkly cream things, it's also good for sparkly eyeshadow. Okay, the last eye brush that I have is this one. It's the Cleo brush. It is a little pencil brush, so you can use this for any sort of detail work that you want. I am going to take a little bit of this matte shade and I'm going to blend these guys together. The foundation brush is the Jada brush. So this is kabuki style. You've got nice dense bristles. They're fairly short. This is going to give you some full coverage, some very full coverage. And I'm going to use a full coverage foundation. So this is going to be fun. I'm just going to take the smallest amount of product and tap it onto my brush like so. I'm using the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-hour full coverage foundation. Let's get this on. So I'm using a tiny bit of product because I want thin layers and I want to build them up only where I need the coverage. So while this brush is really densely packed with bristles, it's still super soft. And if I get up nice and close and show you, let's turn this brightness down. You can see there is zero streaking in that finish. It's gorgeous. The way it's applied that foundation is beautiful. Taking the concealer nipple brush again, and I'm using my foundation because it is so high coverage. I'm going to conceal with it and do a little bit more targeted spot treatment work. Hide those spots. That little nipple end, I've seen these little nipple brushes before and I never really, like I had an idea of why that little nipple bit would be good, but I was never convinced just by looking at them that it was something that would be useful in my life. But I gotta say, when it comes to like doing work under the eye, if you use a light hand, that little tip is enough to get right against the lash line and blend out a concealer without applying like a heavy layer. I also really enjoy it along here where I'm trying to like clean up my eyeshadow line, because I always blend it down a little bit too far, and usually I would take like the sharp edge of a sponge, so this part, and I would, you know, sweep it along, or I would take a flat concealer brush and sweep it along. But this, the tip does it for you. It's so good. You know, I wouldn't say that it's the type of brush that like you can't live without. Like you need it. You don't have anything else in your collection that's going to do the job just as well. But it's handy. It's handy. It's a good little concealer brush. So I'm just applying a little bit of extra foundation. I've got these weird red patches that always show through here, on my nose. A little nipple is so good for getting in here. Go nipple, go. And I will do a tiny bit more spot concealing down here. I don't need a whole extra layer of product. I just need a tiny bit extra where my redness is coming through. All right, I need to set my base, and this is the big face brush in the range. This is the Kian brush. So you can see you've got wide, little bit thinner at another angle. It is a big fluffy guy. The brush is nice and big, so you're going to get the job done quickly, which is great. And as you can see, I'm using a patting motion rather than a sweeping motion. That's my preferred method of applying my powder. But it shows that the bristles are soft enough and flexible enough that it's not like stabbing the skin. You're not getting poked by little rogue like razor hairs. It's really nice and soft. And of course, if you want to, you can use a sweeping motion to apply. It's just not my preferred method. This one here is the Yori brush. So it is an angled fluffy brush. I am going to use this to bronze and contour. So this is a very dense brush, and that's why I'm using that sort of patting motion initially, just to deposit color in the general area, and then I go in and blend out product. Because this brush is so dense, it's going to pick up a lot of product, so use a gentle hand. You can always add more product if you want a stronger contour or a deeper bronze or whatever you want, but it's so difficult to take away product if you apply too much. And because this is a denser brush, it will apply a lot of product if you pick up a lot of product, so be mindful of that. But the good thing about it is because it's so dense, it blends beautifully. I am going to use the Yori brush for applying blush. Now, because this is so dense, it's going to pick up a lot of product. It's going to deposit a lot of product, so you have to be mindful of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the very tip of the brush where the hairs are the longest and the most flexible. So you can see what I've got there. I'm going to tap it off, get off the excess, and then I'm going to press the product so that I get the excess off. And then I'm going to blend again, just with the tip. I want more, so I'm going to repeat the process. Tap off the excess, do a little tapper onto the skin, and then blend it out. I'm going to use the Yori brush to highlight as well, and again I'm going to use the longest part of the brush, so the tip, but instead of using this section, I'm actually going to use this section. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to dip it here into my highlight, and I like to mix it with this one as well. So we'll go back and forth to get our product on there. Don't forget to tap it off. Tapper, 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 tapper. There is hardly any product on there. And that is how you highlight with a super dense angle brush that you shouldn't otherwise be able to highlight with. You can see it's not like I don't have a stripe of highlighter on my face, which for me, not really my jam. It's soft, it's subtle, it's pretty. So you can probably see I've made some changes. I popped on a lip. This is from Hourglass. It is You Inspire. It's from the Ghost Duo for holidays. And I did my brows. I also popped on a little bit of liquid liner, just a thin line right across the lash line, mascara, and I tight lined. I am going to pop on a pair of lashes. I chose the purple ones, and I chose purple because purple and red go beautifully together, and since I figured I can't do another purple and red look on my eyes because I just did one very recently, I'm gonna be cheeky about it. Match the lips to the lashes. Now I did trim these. I'm gonna wear them as a full bar. I'm gonna try to anyway. If I have any issues, I might have to cut them down again. But essentially that's the amount that I cut off the band. So, you know, if you have large eyes, you're not going to have an issue with these fitting. If you have small eyes, you will probably want to trim them down a little bit. Now, the lashes feel nice. They are synthetic, as I said earlier. The band is a thick black band. It's not a transparent band. And these are stacked, like they're multi layers. So you've got like a black layer and then a purple layer for added dimension. Okay, so what I opted to do was trim the lashes down further, so they're a demi lash, not a full bar lash. They're simply too big for my eyes. I really love the color accents on these lashes. I just wish they had them in like smaller sizes so I could wear them, or just like demi lashes. Another pair that I'm keen to use are these pink ones. So these are the Bahina lashes, Bahinia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but these have a really beautiful pink accent. So that's them there. And I reckon again, like these will be too big for me, but I think I'm gonna be able to cut those ones in half and wear them, because it looks like either end here is not like super duper long. So I'll probably get 2 full sets out of those ones. These coral ones are also awesome. I reckon they would have gone really well with this look. That sort of, you know, soft, very wearable, little bit of like orange on that eye. These would have looked great. I will definitely be wearing those eventually as well. They are the spicy lashes, and then the other 2 pairs were the blue and the green. The blue ones are called Wave. They are awesome as well. They're very similar to the purple ones in the sense that it's like a layer of black lash and then a layer of blue lashes. And the green ones are called Cactus. And these are a little bit different to the other ones because it's just like one section of the hair that is dyed. I think those lashes are really fun, and I'm excited to play with them a bit more and see how they can enhance certain eye looks, especially monochrome looks. I reckon that's where they're going to be really cool. So final thoughts on the brushes. I think I've established that I like them when I was talking through the video, so you know, there's that. And if I wasn't clear, I like them. They're good brushes. I like that with just this little core collection of 8 brushes, you can do everything. Like, you're not really lacking for anything. Sure, a more dedicated blush brush, under eye setting brush or highlighting brush, they might be useful, but it just means the brand has so much room to grow. And of course, you can expand on an eye brush range until the cows come home. I think essentially what you have here is, like I said, a core selection. It can do a lot of things, and they're really nicely made. They're good quality. They're not, you know, run-of-the-mill, super-duper mass-produced cheap brushes. If you look on their website, and I have been putting up the prices as I've been going through the video using the brushes, they're not the cheapest on the market, definitely not. But Elysium is also not just a, you know, they're not pumping out the generic made in China brushes. These are quality brushes and they're going to command a certain price. So I think that's fair, but also I think it's important that you are getting a nice quality brush, and I believe you are getting a good quality brush here. It's going to withstand the test of time. And not only are you getting a quality made brush with, you know, the hairs are quality, the way it's made is quality, it's sturdy, it feels strong, there's nothing loose or no stray hairs, nothing like that. But it's the small details as well, like I mentioned how the logo and all of the details that are printed on the handle are encased, not gonna like rub off over time, not gonna start to look grubby and old and manky after you've been using them for years. So I really like that. Now, while I think all of these brushes are very nice, I am gonna give you a couple of like my favorite picks. The Alva. Don't be disappointed. I know it seems like a boring choice, but I just really like it. I like it. It works. Creams, powders, it's synthetic. You can totally use it to conceal as well. And I think that one would work for cut crease work as well with concealer or like a cream base. I just like it. It's a simple brush, but it does a lot of jobs. So that would be my favorite from the eye collection. From the base or the face collection, it's actually the nipple brush. I don't know, I didn't expect to like this, or not didn't expect to like it, but I didn't expect to like it so much. So I've used a lot of concealer brushes like this without that added tip. So just like a, you know, mini sort of kabuki buffing style concealer brush, and I like them. I think they're good brushes, but that little tip, it just offers a level of precision that I didn't even know that I needed. I feel like now that I've tried one of these brushes with the nipple, any brushes that are like this without the nipple are just not going to be good enough. So I'm a bit concerned that I've actually been spoiled by this brush, but I just love it. And I really loved it for like carving out that eyeshadow edge. That was great. All right, guys, so that's it for me today. Feel free to leave your comments down in the comments section if you want to talk brushes with me, my favorite subject. I hope you enjoyed this little review demo of the brushes and the lashes, the little colorful accent lashes, very fun. And thank you to Elysium for sending these products to me. I look forward to playing with them even more. All right, so I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.